When I was going to grad school for cybersecurity, I did a graduate level. It was a cyber law class, but it was a national security law class. And so I figured I should explain the intelligence community to you guys because no one else will ever explain it to you. So at the top we have the president. The president like picks the person in charge, like who's in charge of the FBI, DEA, Secret Service, the ATF, which would be the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and they're like the people that were left over from like the Prohibition era. Like they used to be primarily about alcohol, but now they're ATF, so they do like bomb stuff. They sure seem to cover up for like the government murdering people. Like they covered up for the Austin bomber. So at the DOJ, you have Merrick Garland, right? Like the guy that Obama appointed for the Supreme Court didn't make it. He's in charge of the DOJ. Who's in charge of investigating Merrick Garland? That's Robert Horowitz. He went to Harvard also. He's a Jewish guy from Harvard also. So at the top of the FBI, we have Christopher Wray. And FBI is in charge of local, like anything in the United States at all. Like you pretty much have to go through the FBI. So like the NSA has to go through the FBI. And it feels like the Department of Homeland Security has to go through the FBI. It feels like the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, has to go through the FBI. So, like, when I said that I knew the head spy to Israel, was that a person from the Defense Intelligence Agency? Yeah, like, Defense Intelligence is military, DOD is Department of Defense, and that's military. So, Lloyd Austin is in charge of the Department of Defense, and so they picked a black person. So, good job. But still, our like weapons are going to like murder like what's going to be black people because Israel is about to get into like a serious war with black people. So Lloyd Austin's definitely like against me. It sounds like with like the way that he's deploying his weapons because like he's in charge of deploying it. Because could he go against the president? Like you guys know he's not the president. Like he's not. Like you can't be president if you're doing that censorship, that level of censorship. But I'm sure like everyone over at the DOD is going, "We're the ones that did the censorship." Like, how am I supposed to complain about it? And what I'll say is, yeah, like a big chunk of you guys are from the Order of Melchizedek, and you know it. All right, so the FBI is supposed to oversee the local police. So, like, when I'm in Colorado and I'm screwed because, like, the police have beat me up while handcuffed, no police officers ever talk to me about it, like, the crime. Like, I try to contact them to tell them what happened. They won't talk to me about the police beating me up. Like, I was hurt. They won't have a they wouldn't have a conversation with me. So like I need someone to oversee them, and I know they're not going to get overseen by the FBI because that's Order Melchizedek. So like you're hoping it's going to be the state attorney general, but in Colorado, is the state attorney general a Jewish guy? Yeah. Is the governor Jewish? The governor oversees the police too. Yeah. Is the mayor Jewish? I don't know. He's gone. Like we had a mayor, and I think he quit now of Colorado Springs. I don't know what happened to him. But like our congressman was Doug Lamborn. I think Doug Lamborn's gone too. Like it feels like everyone's kind of like going, I'm out. So there's no one to oversee the local police. And like the local police, like, are they that bad in Colorado? Like in Colorado Springs specifically? Dude, that is like a scary, scary, scary group of people. Very, very scary group of people. So my video got taken down for hate speech yesterday. I saw like I posted two videos. Do I think it's hate speech if I'm telling like if like you guys are censoring and like I'm talking about what you're actually doing? Like I'm like, oh, they beat me up. Oh, that's hate speech. They beat him up while he's handcuffed. Oh, they did that. Oh, that's hate speech. They left him handcuffed for like so long when they knew he was injured already, when he like constantly was sending him emails complaining, but then they just left him handcuffed for no reason. Yeah, like was that hate speech? Yeah, that was pretty much hate speech. So the ODNI up there at the top, that's a Jewish person, Avril Haines. She is in charge of the Office of Director of National Intelligence, and they're actually like I don't have all the lines drawn. Like they're supposed to be like who talks to the FBI, the DEA, ATF, Secret Service, NSA, DHS, DIA. They talk to everyone, and they're like who communicates with the CIA, and like then they talk with the NSA. So like she's in charge of communicating between everyone. National Geospatial, that's in Colorado. That's like satellite stuff, but that's like a military thing too. So like generally, like I think that I put them over there, like under DOD if like they're gonna have to go to like someone else to arrest them because I think that generally if you're not on a military base like Army Intel or Air Force Intel or Navy Intel. Like you guys have all seen the show about the air about like Navy intelligence, NCIS, Naval Crime Investigation Service. So the guy who taught me about this, he was naval intelligence. He was a law professor. Generally, I think they're like near military bases at least. Like, I feel like that show makes them more involved than you think, but it doesn't mean that they don't like get out, like that they won't show up. So there are also these private intelligence corporations with like that, and there's like over 1,000 of them. So like there are people that are like doing like FBI type stuff or like spy type stuff, but then they work for a corporation. An example would be like Lockheed Martin, where like I used to live with a guy from Lockheed Martin, and I've met a lot of people from Lockheed Martin. People from Lockheed Martin have given me rides, and like when I was hitchhiking, and like I know I've met a lot of people from Raytheon, and like a lot of the like in my experience, private intelligence corporations have like a name like T-shirts International, and like you will never even notice them. Like they're like, it's like that's a really bad business. Is like what you think when you're there, probably. So foreign governments also have private intelligence corporations in the United States, and do we allow them to have spies in the United States? I think that like no one will ever doubt that like we allow like our allies like England, like you are spying in the United States, like you have spies here, like you're like literally like spying on us like that, like aggressively, like in like a sensitive intelligence sort of way, as far as like our computer systems and stuff. Like do we let them do that? Yeah, we do. So the NSA is like in charge of like signals intelligence, which is like that wireless signal. So like when I talk about like there's a possibility that like we all have neural interfaces in our head. We have the Holy Spirit in our head. You can't not have it because like you have drank a Coca-Cola. And so like you got it because it's in the Coca-Cola. At one time in your life you had a Coca-Cola. You got it. And now it's in your head. And like and like say that there's a corporation that's like putting thoughts in your head constantly and constantly listening to your head, and it was like OpenAI, and they were using that type of software to like really understand your head, put things in your head. They're constantly brainwashing you to go along with their agenda. Who's the type of people that would be hacking that? That's the NSA, because they do signals. Like when I'm talking about like wireless signals, like it's a wireless signal. It can't be wired, and so like it has to be an electromagnetic wave, and the NSA cares that much. DHS is like a group of people that like no one knows is out there, but they are like there that much, and like I know DHS pretty well. Like I've tracked my hacks to them like in El Paso, like that much. Like I literally tracked it to El Paso more than once, from like my computer and my cell phone because I was like logging in illegally. Like I was logging in from El Paso. I wasn't in El Paso. That's far from San Antonio. And like I know people from DHS, like oh my dad's DHS. He works in El Paso. And then next thing you know, like it's like always El Paso. Like oh you're from El Paso too, and you're military, and you're the person that like tells me like yeah I can look at Russian bomb specs like right now. Like I can like get on my computer and go look at Russian bomb specs anytime I want. But they don't say they're DHS. They'll say they're like Army and but then you know they're DHS because they're from El Paso and stuff like that. So Department of Energy, I put it under DOD also. That's like nuclear type stuff, and then those are the people that like protect like nuclear materials and like I don't know who all's involved. Like I remember when like nuclear materials got stolen in San Antonio, and like it felt like that was like a military situation. It didn't feel like the Department of Energy was showing up. So like it wasn't Gretchen Whitmer like talking about it. It was like civilian looking people. It was like a guy looks like me probably. The Senate Judiciary Committee is kind of supposed to oversee like all of it. So it's like Ted Cruz overseeing the FBI and like the Secret Service and the DEA, especially the DOJ stuff. So like, is the Senate Judiciary Committee scary? That is a scary group of people.